Welcome back to the Crypto is Key conversation. The Charles Gasparino back and forth arguing continues. He's responding to a tweet that I have not seen, but he responds, says, "This guy's proof there are also middle-aged men in the Germany who live with their moms. Sad, huh?" British Miss says, "Charles, please stop. I really appreciate everything you have done for the XRP community. Please don't do a Harry on us." Charles responds to her and says, "The XRP community needs to grow up. It's coming across as conspiracy theorists and children." And then Younga says, "Grow up. While you hurl childish insults about complete strangers' mothers and respected attorneys' education, you got to be the biggest D-bag I've ever seen on here. But keep going." Charles says, "First, I never throw the first punch. You people come across as kids who can't take hearing anything other than your own group think. Also, you think you can bully me into changing my approach to the job? My advice, stop. I never lose." So things are still intense, man, and it's only like continuing getting worse. And Crypto Bull says he lives in Switzerland, but given the lack of research skills you have shown regarding the SC versus Ripple case, I didn't expect you to know the difference. Perhaps spend less time in the gym and try to exercise your neurons more. Coming over here, there's a video that I wanted to play real quick. Oh, oops, let me go back. Jeez Louise, I hate when I do that. There's a video clip right here. This is from Ripple. Ripple XRP boy, and it says, "Charlie, why are you? Excuse me, let me zoom in." It says, "Charlie, why are you pretending to be living under a rock?" So let's listen into this really quick.
What innovations are going to be allowed to exist? And we live in a country right now that is not the kind of free country you thought you grew up in. It's a country where innovation exists at the sufferance of government and the incumbents.
There you go. And it shouldn't be a surprise, especially based off of the evidence that the XRP community has surfaced with, ETHgate, this government involvement and corruption and stuff. It's crazy. Yasan says, "When the attack machine against XRP ramps up as it is now, I get the sense somebody knows something is coming and they feel threatened by it. That's the only logical explanation I can come up with from the unusual and constant torrent of attacks and FUD I'm seeing lately." Which I completely agree. And when he says hashtag bullish, I mean, literally, it only makes me more bullish. I mean, quite honestly, because like, what else? What else can actually be thrown at the XRP community and the Ripple community that's worse than an SEC lawsuit, for the past 2 years? It's kind of crazy, but as you can see, more and more stuff's coming out. There's some more stuff from Charles Gasparino. So he's responding to Crypto Bo here. It says, "Hey, Charles, where did you get your law degree?" "Oh, right, you don't have one. The state actual lawyers don't understand the law better than you, makes you look foolish." Pretty much makes you look like a fool. Charles says, "Let's unpack the illogical of Hinman's criminal intent." It says, Biden DOJ would love to nail a Trump official for violating the law. The feds are well aware of what Hinman did, and yet there is no indictment. Not even an investigation aside from a bunch of XRPers chirping. Time to move on. Coming down here, Crypto Arsenal says, "Should look into the work of Empower US are putting into, so Empower Oversight," what Jason Foster says, "are putting into the Hinman conflicts. Ask them what they think. They aren't XRPers either." And I said facts because it's the truth. It's crazy, man. This is from XRP Crypto Wolf. It says, hashtag XRP lawyer John Deaton said, "Whatever the outcome of the Ripple SEC lawsuit is, it might likely be the only clarity the crypto markets get for the next 2 years," which is powerful. I mean, you should really, if you're against XRP and Ripple, the company, and you really can care less what happens between the SEC and Ripple in litigation, I mean, you really got to think twice about that, because quite honestly, obviously, standards and regulations are in the works, but it's like, this is really what we're going to get until something happens. And that's pretty much what John Deaton's saying. So like, this is very, very pivotal and paramount and highly important to the entire industry. So people really need to pay attention. This is a quick thread from John Deaton that I thought was powerful, and it just kind of re-emphasizes, a lot of the stuff he's been talking about within litigation. Here says, "A year and a half ago, I made the comment that the SEC lawyers are 100% transactional in their arguments. They say whatever they think helps them at the moment, giving no weight or consideration to any statement previously made. Remember the Hinman emails." So remember, Charles Gasparino's big thing is he doesn't see, he pretty much sees Bill Hinman as innocent, and we're conspiracy theorists for throwing out the conflicts of interest that clearly and blatantly has been proven via emails and pretty much it's evident documents. It's not something that we're just throwing out of nowhere. So that's kind of why this is pertinent to this video as well. John Dean continues, "For a year, The SEC argued that Hinman's speech was 100 his personal opinion and not guidance to the market. Yes, that's right. Even though the speech remains on the SEC website today, and even though Hinman got a TV and reportedly said we, meaning we at the SEC, believe ETH is not a security. The SEC said the speech wasn't meant as market guidance. After Judge Netburn ruled that the speech, the 58 drafts, and the emails from others must be produced because it was only Hinman's personal opinion, the SEC literally told the judge that it was market guidance from the Division of Corporate Finance, but not the SEC. Incredibly, when the judge asked the SEC about its inconsistent position, the SEC lawyers told her they weren't being inconsistent at all and that she must have misunderstood. I was in the courtroom and you should have seen Judge Network's facial expressions. The Hinman emails are only one of the reasons that the judge said the SEC lawyers are hypocritical and only care about winning the next argument, and that they, quote, lack any faithful allegiance to the law. Those are her words, not mine. So when someone from the SEC privately says, this is why I did this or didn't do that, you know they are full of crap. I say to them, come into the daylight on the record and claim that nonsense, but they won't because they are cowards in addition to being hypocrites. And I mean, that's straight up, man. And shout out John Deaton for all the great work, man. And that's just the reality. We're going to transition over here. This is from the Flare community update. It says, we won't know how the remaining 85% of Flare will be distributed until a future proposal, which decides how the remaining Flare will be distributed, has concluded. So there's a lot of people that have, different, opposing opinions about, the whole Flare airdrop stuff. And, we've been waiting forever, kind of drug along, and now you only get 15% and they don't know how they're going to distribute the other 85%. And there's just so many different things going on. I just want to just update you on kind of what they're saying here. I highly recommend that you stay, in tune with what they're saying, on their Twitter, and follow them if you're, a part of the XRP community and you took pretty much you were a part of the snapshot back when they had the snapshot per your XRP holdings. If your exchange or whatever you custodied it on was participating in that. Participation, that was the word I was looking for and I lost it. So obviously there's a lot that's going on with the DCG stuff. So it says, just from Watcher Group, it says, just in U.S. government launches an investigation into crypto giant DCG, Digital Currency Group is what DCG is. It says the parent company of CoinDesk, Grayscale, and Genesis. So this is huge. They were talking about how I guess there's been conversations and speculations as if the DCG goes down, I mean, it could be catastrophic for the entire crypto industry. It's like one of those, another black swan event, as you can say, like the Celsiuses, the Voyagers, the Do Kwons, and the Terra Lunas, and the FTX and Sam Bankman-Fried stuff. So it's just another catalyst that can shoot us down. This is from Andrew, and I don't know the validity. I just kind of wanted to bring it up here so people can further look into it and keep up to date. That's kind of what the purpose of this channel is I want to report things that I find interesting, kind of give my 2 cents on it. Obviously, I wouldn't take anything that I say on this channel, as guaranteed information. This is just things that I see, and I think it's quite interesting to have these conversations. But this is from Andrew here, and it says, update, DCG Genesis knew that FTX and Alameda was insolvent in late of May of 2022. Barry and DCG began to aggressively pressure Alameda to pay off a $2.5 billion loan outstanding to Genesis. More to come. So then there was this person that says source, and this Andrew says DM. So apparently he has some source and sources. If we come down here, I think he says it right here. I guess there's sources. So because Ari says, how do you know this source is telling the truth? And he says sources. So just some food for thought there. Obviously, you can do your further research and continue to follow Andrew, see how things surfaces. Remember when Big Boy Crypto, Ben Armstrong first came out, pretty much saying they're getting rid of the FTT and they don't trust, FTX and Sam Bankman-Fried and all this stuff. And I remember people were kind of like, is he kind of just talking out of his butt? Or what are these, sources that you got? Come to find out, this dude was really onto something. So I really don't want to discount or disregard anybody's, I guess you could say research or opinion on something. I kind of, take what they, for instance, I'm going to take this information that Andrew's saying here, right, and just further look into it. I'm not going to take it as, this is hard facts and this is what it is. I'm just going to keep that in my head. So as I continue to research within the community and see what's going on within the industry, especially when it comes to the DCG stuff and Genesis block stuff and all that stuff, it's just to kind of keep me aware of kind of what's going on. And then as things surface, as more information comes out, then I kind of make my opinion and formulate, my own opinion and adjust my investment strategy into the space based on kind of what's happening. Moving on here. This is from Cointelegraph. Says Sam Bankman-Fried's charitable donation sought by FTX report. Says FTX new management is seeking to recover millions of dollars donated by a future fund in SBF. So my big thing is like, okay, how did they know that the money that was donated isn't already spent? And what happens if it is spent? Can they go after those charitable organizations and get it back, or is it just kind of a lost cause? It's going to be interesting to kind of see how things unfold with all that stuff. I mean, even when it comes to like all the donations to like all the political parties and stuff, right? Like what happens to all those? What about all those representatives and members and people? Like, do they have to pay all that stuff back, or like how is it all going to work? Going to be quite interested to see kind of how things plan out. I'm going to end with this right here. It says metaverse to possibly create $5 trillion in value by 2030. McKinsey report. The success of metaverse will rely on a greater focus on maximizing the human experience aimed at delivering positive experiences for consumers, end users, and citizens. So it should be quite interesting. Obviously, as technology advances, as people. Obviously, the metaverse, NFT plays, and gaming, and all that stuff is like a big deal to our industry in general. It's a specific sector within the crypto industry, but it's massive. And they keep talking about the potential of it. Going forward in the future, it's massive. So we'll see as things pan out. We'll see if the technology can hold true to the excitement. But that's what I have for you. Make sure you come to the Crypto is Key Conversation YouTube channel. Subscribe. Follow us on Twitter at Crypto is Key 1. I really appreciate your support out there. With all that being said, stay strong out there. Be safe.